Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle. Hello everyone, it's Maisie, and here on Amaja-Nui Tales, we will be diving into the diverse characters of Bionicle. Today, we will learn more about the scheming Toa of Air and Dark Hunter, Nidhiki. Nidhiki was a deceptive Toa Mangai of Air who later joined the Dark Hunters and was mutated into an insectoid being. He was impulsive and took risks whenever he got the chance, though he also was practical with his combat and took enemies by surprise. He was additionally skilled in stealing things, but Toa had trouble maintaining loyalty to a team he was part of. Nidhiki also had a fear of insectoid Rahi, which made his eventual mutation extremely traumatic for him. As a Toa of Air, Nidhiki was able to create, control, and absorb air. He wore the Kanohi Volatak, the great mask of stealth, which allowed him to hide himself and move silently. He wore emerald green armor and carried an air scythe to focus his elemental powers. When Nidhiki was mutated, the mask fused to his face, and he lost his elemental and mask powers. He gained the ability to launch Kanoka discs and to shoot force bolts through his mandibles. He could also fold his legs to fly. His hands became large claws, which he can use for melee combat. Nidhiki started his life as a Lema Tauren on the hazardous land of the Chenkram Peninsula on the northern continent. At some point, he was transformed into a Toa and learned to attack from the shadows due to the dangerous environment he lived in. Eventually, he became one of 11 Toa who were summoned to the city island of Amaja-Nui to defeat the vicious Kanohi dragon. After the Rahi was removed from the city, Nidhiki, along with the other Toa, decided to stay in Amaja-Nui and became the Toa Mangai. While many of his fellow Toa went on various missions elsewhere, he was one of the Toa who stuck around to defend the metropolis. At one point, Nidhiki went with his leader, Toa of Fire Khong, to investigate the deaths of Matoran in the city, which were supposedly caused by the mercenaries, the Dark Hunters. After fighting the Dark Hunters on the island and discovering the truth, he teamed up with Khong to confront their former teammate, the Toa of Water Tuyet, who was in possession of the powerful Nui Stone. Though the Toa of Air tried to get the stone for himself after Tuyet's defeat, Khong stopped him. Later on, the Dark Hunters declared war on Amaja-Nui and invaded the island. As the battles raged on, Nidhiki was assigned to guard the leader of Amaja-Nui, Turaga Duma, but grew tired of his position and wandered off. He was soon approached by the Dark Hunter Lariska, who asked him to betray his fellow Toa in exchange for becoming the new ruler of Amaja-Nui. In serving his own interests, Nidhiki agreed and planned for the Toa to be ambushed so that the Dark Hunters could win. Soon, he told Khong and the other Toa that the Dark Hunters were hiding in a canyon and that all of the Toa were needed to end the war. Nidhiki led the Toa there where the mercenaries ambushed them. However, having discovered Nidhiki's betrayal, Khong led a counter-assault with his own army of Toa to ambush the Dark Hunters. Guilty for his treachery, Nidhiki left the city with the Dark Hunters. On the island of Odina, the leader of the Dark Hunters, the Shadowed One, made Nidhiki a trainer, though Nidhiki wished for a higher position. He was responsible for training a team to take back a valuable artifact, the Mokoki Stone, from a fortress. He also trained other Dark Hunters like Vizok and Poison. Despite this, he grew bored and tired of his position, and was particularly annoyed by a brute named Kreka. The Shadowed One later sent him on a mission with Kreka to keep Nidhiki in check due to his traitorous past. The two, along with Lariska, were sent to the island of Ninra to retrieve prototype Zamor Sphere launchers. Though Nidhiki wanted to keep some of the launchers for himself, Kreka threatened to report him. Because of this, he was forced to give all of the weapons to the Shadowed One. Eventually, Nidhiki met Rudaka, who was seeking to train with the Dark Hunters, but did not want to join the organization. Seeing this as an opportunity to return to his former duty as a Toa, he offered to train Rudaka if she helped him escape from Odina. She agreed, but decided to report this treachery to the Shadowed One. In exchange for training, Rudaka used her Rotuka power to mutate Nidhiki into a hideous insectoid being on a beach of Odina, which was later called Nidhiki Beach. With his new transformation, there was no hope for him to return to his glory days as a Toa. Soon after, Nidhiki and other Dark Hunters were hired by the Brotherhood of Makuta to guard the Kanohi of Voki, the Mask of Light, at the Makuta's headquarters of Destral. Despite these precautions, the mask was then stolen by the Toa Haga, and Nidhiki was unable to stop them. The Makuta planned to kill them for their failure, but the Shadowed One refused. Eventually, Nidhiki, along with Kreka and another Dark Hunter, Eliminator, were sent to Amaja-Nui to assist Makuta Pterodax, who was impersonating Turagaduma. Nidhiki chased after his former teammate Khong, and eventually captured him after attempting to kill a Tamatoran named Fakama. Nidhiki and Kreka then took the Toa and imprisoned him. Nidhiki later paid a Pomatoran named Akmu to help him find the Great Discs, so that the newly transformed Toa Mechu could not defeat the Morbazak vines infesting the city. He provided Akmu with 5 notes that led the other 5 Matoran who knew the locations of the Great Discs into traps. However, the Toa Mechu were successful in retrieving the Great Discs and rescuing the Matoran. Nidhiki and Kreka later went to the Colosseum to trap the Toa Mechu there, capturing 3 of them. The two then went on a wild chase to capture the other 3 throughout various Mechu districts, but failed each time. Nidhiki and Kreka eventually attacked the Toa Mechu and Turagali Khan on a Vaki transport as they were escaping from the Colosseum. Toa of Stone Onewa used his mask power to force Kreka to attack his partner, which launched the two away from the transport. Makuta Pterodax was able to capture them with his shadow hand and absorbed them into his body, ending the life of the former Toa of Air in the process.
If you'd like to see more tales, check out our channel and our videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is the way of the Bionicle.